Okay.
I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Good morning.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. And it's open your hearts to the open hearts, everyone. Sorry. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Thank you. Our opening this morning is read by George Dunstan, who was going to be at the park, but who is at home this morning. So I think available by Zoom, right? Siobhan's nodding. Yes, yes. So George, thanks for offering the reading from home.
Blessings Are Real and Ours to Claim by the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. Rejoice. Rejoice with full hearts, beloved people of blessing. Rejoice. I am at our core. Blessings are real and ours to claim and radiate. Blessings are abundant and ours to revel in and pass along. Blessings are transformational and ours to be challenged by as we grow towards the faith we know we can be. Rejoice.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
I missed my cue.
Well, good morning. Inside, what do you know? What a surprise. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains in Grass Valley, California. On this day, with the surprising blessing of rain to refresh our parched earth. So fitting today as we begin our month of Sundays where we explore what it means to be a people celebrating blessings. And what a blessing to be in a community of resilience so that we could flip our plans and at the park and scurry back here at the very last moment. My goodness. As some of you may have noticed, your worship associates spend some time thinking about how we will welcome you each week. As I gathered my thoughts for today, I really had to ponder, even research, what does the word blessing mean? I mean, we use it all the time, but what does it really mean? Are we like celebrating some religious ritual? Or perhaps it's the meaning is a sense of blessing that as we refer to blessing as anything that gives us happiness or prevents misfortune. Often that's the case. Or then again, perhaps blessing is a verb. That is to say, an act of declaring or bestowing good wishes, favor, approval on someone else, as in, may I have your blessing on the marriage of your son? Yes, blessing, you have my blessing. Those are only 3 of the definitions I found. And then there's the whole question of who's the one that gets to do the blessing? Like, do I have to get ordained or something like that? But I'm blessing people all the time, especially after they sneeze, right? And who gets to notice the blessings that are around us all the time? Because they are around us all the time. And I mean, if you just take a minute and just look around this room, it's full of blessings. Like, is that a blessing sitting next to you? Could be. And is that itchy spot behind your ear actually a blessing in disguise? How many of your ears itch now? And what is going on in your life right now that might not be too happy about? Might that turn out to be a blessing when you look back at it from the future? And as I gathered my thoughts, I had to push back my distress as I struggle, frankly, under the weight of the world right now. How dare we be asked to celebrate our blessings right now when those blessings lights are so dimmed by the curse of assaults on our children, on democracy, bewildering bad news on every side. And then a light broke through to me on all of that. Even with all of that, there are still blessings that abound. Each of you is a blessing. Each bit of nature is a blessing. Might we be holding so tight onto our problems that we actually prevent blessings from coming through? And to further my question of who gets to give the blessings, perhaps each of us, especially if we allow ourselves to love ourselves, to bless ourselves, to bestow favor and approval upon ourselves, not just bless you, but also bless me, every part of me. Every part of me? Now that's something to ponder for sure. And so, my beloveds, and you are so my beloveds, welcome. Welcome here today and bless you. For you are the ones that make this place holy by your presence, each and all of you and all of each of you. You see, our blessing is wide and inclusive. It goes out to who you are and why you happen to be here. Did you happen to be walking by the building and went, oh, I think I'll go check it out? Or you're welcome if you came with intention. You are welcome regardless of your age, your race, your abilities, your beliefs, your doubts, your certainties, who you love, or how you pray or don't pray, because we are so enriched and blessed by our differences. Yes, you are welcome here, and you are blessed, and I am blessed that you came.
Our land acknowledgement is offered by Carmen Riley this morning.
Good morning. In our commitment to be in right relationship with the descendants of this area's indigenous people, we place a small basket of black oak acorns on our altar each week. In doing so, we acknowledge the Nisenan people are still here amongst us today, though invisible after generations of erasure and exclusion from California's history. We understand we are on Nisenan land that has never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the genocide of their people. As residents or visitors in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people, as well as a campaign to restore tribal sovereignty through federal recognition.
Thank you, Carmen, for that weekly reminder of the place we're in and the history that this land holds. And we're back to the Dunstan household for our lighting of the chalice this morning. Janet Dunstan this time via Zoom, the magic of Zoom. Gail is ready to light our chalice here in the building. I invite you at home to get ready to light your chalice at home.
The words of poet William Stafford. It could happen anytime. Tornado, earthquake, Armageddon. It could happen. Or sunshine, love, salvation. It could, you know. That's why we wake and look out. No guarantees in this life, but some bonuses, like morning, like right now. May this light we now kindle awaken us to the blessings of this morning, this rain, this day, this moment of now we share.
Thank you, Janet.
I had planned to tell you the story of the ugly duckling this morning, but I happened to come across a story written by Linda Carroll titled "The Ugly Duckling Was a True Story About a Sad Little Boy." And so I'm going to tell you that story instead. It starts with a quote from Hans Christian Andersen: "Life itself is the most wonderful fairy tale." Now, everyone knows the story of the ugly duckling. Too big, too loud. He was picked on by everyone until he finally discovered that he wasn't a duck at all. He was a beautiful swan. It's a beautiful parable for every awkward, sad little child, or every not awkward, shy person that is afraid they won't do it right and they won't fit in. It's a parable for all of us who have perhaps not yet had our blessings revealed. The story became a beloved story, a favorite around the world. What most people don't know is that it's a true story. Hans Christian Andersen was a very ugly duckling. He was abnormally tall, even as a child, and worse, he had knobby knees and elbows that stuck out, and he also had giant feet, and he was not at all graceful on those big feet. If that's not enough, he had sunken eyes and hollow cheeks and a giant protruding nose that stuck out from his face like a beak. He was an Ichabod Crane sort of boy, almost made entirely of ugly, paired with strange, herky-jerky movements. And as if being ugly and awkward wasn't bad enough, he was born dirt poor. His father was a cobbler and his mother was an illiterate washerwoman. They lived in a tiny house shared by 3 families, 12 people, and short of his father, no one really wanted that strange boy around. He loved it when his father read to him all these stories, and he'd memorize stories and tell them over and over again, dancing like a ballerina while he did. His mother could see no use for it. What good are books and stories? That's what she said. Crazy child, his strange dancing stories. What good is all of this? And Hans later wrote in his story, The Ugly Duckling, at last the large egg broke, and the young one crept out crying, peep, peep. It was very large and ugly. The poor duckling was bitten and pushed and made fun of, not only by the other ducks, but by the whole farmyard. And so it went from day to day until it got worse and worse. And it did get worse and worse, much, much worse, both for Hans and for the duckling. When Hans was 11, his father died. One morning in the dead of winter, his father called him. He'd been sick so long, and Hans sat on his father's bed. "Look," his father said, pointing out the window, "the Ice Queen is come for me." He looked at the window, and the frost was shaped like a woman. He ran to his bed, terrified. Later, his mother came, wailing that the Ice Queen had, in fact, come to take him. Years later, the memory of that would fuel his story of the Ice Queen. But when he was 11, what his father's death meant was no more stories, no more reading, no more books, no more school. His mother said, "What good are books?" And no, the school either, even though he'd only gone sparingly to the school for paupers, now there was no school, no books, no stories at all. And they had been his life. As Hans told the story, he said, the poor duckling was driven about by everyone. Even his brothers and sisters were unkind to him and would say, "Ah, you ugly creature, I wish the cat would get you." And his mother said she wished he had never been born. The ducks pecked at him, the chickens beat him, the girl who fed the poultry kicked him with her feet. And then he, both the duckling and Hans, ran away. The next 3 years, his family were sunk into abject poverty. Without their father's income, their mother apprenticed him out, first to a weaver, and then to a tobacconist, and then finally to a tailor. He hated it. He knew those weren't for him, but they needed the money. The only thing that interested him were theater and books and stories. His mother had no use for those. And why would she? Poor and illiterate washerwoman trying to make the best as a single woman in 1816 yet? Then his mother remarried, and that's when Hans knew he had to go. He decided to go to Copenhagen to find his fortune. With nothing but a very few coins in his pocket and a letter of recommendation from a newspaper editor who knew the boy loved to write, he ran away. He was almost 14. He left as a stowaway, hiding in a mail wagon. In the story, he says of the duckling, and so at last he ran away, frightening the little birds in the hedge as he flew over the palings. "They're afraid of me because I'm ugly," the duckling said. And so he closed his eyes and flew still farther until he came out on a large moor inhabited by wild ducks. Here he remained the whole night, feeling very tired and sorrowful. But still, for Hans, no one wanted him around. When he went to Copenhagen, he earned a little money singing in a boys' choir on the Royal Theatre. But then his voice changed with puberty. He tried to join the ballet. Now imagine that. But his awkwardness made that impossible. Laughable, really. He attempted to work with his hands in artistic fields, but he could not do that either. It was just too awkward and clumsy. He wrote a book and a play and another book, and finally, newspapers and magazines started to publish his work. To his delight, his play was accepted by the Royal Theatre. His first book, self-published, was picked up by a publisher, and he was lauded for his writing. But he was shut out of literary circles because he was not of the right class. He was from the wrong side of the tracks, and the literary community had no problem reminding him that he was of lower station, not their equal. In the story, Hans writes, he says of the duckling, he ran over field and meadow until a storm arose and he could hardly struggle against it. Toward evening, he reached a poor little cottage that seemed ready to fall. A woman, a tomcat, and a hen lived in the cottage. "Can you lay eggs?" the hen asked. "No." "Then have the goodness to hold your tongue."
"Can you raise your back and purr and throw out sparks?" said the tomcat.
"No."
"Then you have no right to express an opinion when sensible people are speaking."
So the duckling sat in the corner, feeling very low-spirited. Well, what happens next? The duckling discovers he's a swan. In 1835, Hans Christian Andersen published yet one more book. He was 30 years old, and his book was like nothing he had written before. He called it Tales Told for Children. It was stories he made up for children, like Princess and the Pea, The Tinderbox, and so many more that we all know. His story collections broke new ground in the world of publishing. Not just the content, but the style as well. He broke the literary tradition of the time and wrote in the idioms of spoken language. He wrote the way you would tell a story. And oh, the people and we love them. New collections appeared in 1837, 43, 47, and 52, 156 stories. His stories achieved wild popularity all across Europe. Finally, he traveled to country all over, reading the stories aloud to adoring audiences. In the Ugly Duckling story, he says, "It would be very sad if I were to relate all the miseries and privations which the poor duckling endured during the hard winter. But when it had passed, he felt the warm sun shining and saw all around that it was beautiful spring. From a thicket close by came 3 beautiful white swans swimming lightly over the water. He flew to the water, and the swans toward him, the beautiful swans. But what did he see as he looked in the clear stream below? But his own image, no longer a dark, gray, ugly bird, disagreeable to look at, but a graceful, beautiful swan. To be born in a duck's nest in a farmyard is of no consequence if you are hatched from a swan's egg." Yes, as he said, life itself is the most wonderful fairy tale.
Thank you, Gail. How wonderful to get the story beneath the story. I'll hear all of them differently now. So if we were at the park in the pavilion with the 16 giant cement picnic tables, you would have a natural small group of people, right, clustered at your table. I'm going to invite you to take a moment to say hello to people around you. In other words, the people who are at your table this morning, to say hi in case you haven't had a chance yet. And if you're on Zoom, consider putting your camera on and waving to each other. Say hello to your own particular table. Enter, rejoice, and come in. That was lovely. The morning has a picnic kind of energy to it. Even if we're inside the building, you can feel that difference. And if we had to change our plans for any reason, rain was a good one, right? We'll take it. We'll take it, that steady rain. My friends, how is it with your spirit this morning? I'm seeing some thumbs up. Yeah, people are showing me a little bit. I see it on your faces. In a few moments, Catherine and Taylor will be singing "I Dreamed of Rain and the Rain Came." They've been practicing this week, so. It's a wonderful song written by Jan Garrett, and she actually wrote it in response to fires in Colorado, I believe, when she was experiencing what so many of us know, and this song came to her really of a piece. I invite us to take a moment to center on both what's in our hearts and our caring for each other. You may know that there are all kinds of ways that members of the congregation care for each other, including very simple things like providing a meal or a phone call or sometimes a ride. I invite you, if you haven't so far, to fill out the survey that asks, would you be willing to do some of these things once in a while? Gwen's going to have some available after the service if you're here, and look at email, etc., for a chance, or the website, the new website, for chances to do that yourself. But as you're thinking about how it is with your spirit, as you're feeling within, looking within, feeling the room too, I know that the families and the teachers and the people of Uvalde, or Uvalde as they say locally, are in your heart and mind. The people of Tulsa and Buffalo are tenderly in your hearts. People of the Ukraine. I know that the rise in violence is stirring your own fear and your anger and your resolve too. I know that the strength and the direction of political winds are feeling like a continual red flag warning day most days, in our bodies even. And I know that rainbow flags lining the streets of Nevada City for Pride Month gives our spirit a lift. At the end of school year choir concerts, amazing and passionate and justice-minded young people, garden seedlings, and caring neighbors give us hope that there are blessings in our day as well as burdens. I invite you to find in your heart this morning, in your life, both the roses and the thorns, as our young people sometimes say when they share joys and sorrows. What are the roses in your life? What are the thorns in your life? What are the blessings and the hurts? Take a moment to see, feel, notice what's there. If you're in the room, I invite you, if you wish, in the moment during the music, to come take one of these very carefully offered stones from members of the congregation, to place it in the bowl of water, to honor what you're carrying. If you're at home, if you're online, I invite you to type in the chat, if you wish, some piece of what you're carrying this morning. I won't read those out loud today, but we will read them afterwards, and you'll have a chance to see each other's if you're online. And I invite us during that time, during the music, during that movement of people, to center yourself in your own heart, in your own thoughtfulness, in your own prayerfulness, if that is your way, so that we're both present to ourselves and attentive to each other, all at the same time. This way of caring for each other each Sunday morning. If you wish, I invite you to come forward. I've placed a few stones to represent all the rest and all that people at home are holding in their hearts this morning. This beautiful bowl of stones, this beautiful bowl of caring that is the community. And Carmen wishes a Merry Pride Month to one and all. Indeed. It may help you to know that on Tuesday evening, we'll hold here and online a grief vespers, really, around the recent shootings. So a combination of vespers and conversation. First of a series of 3 conversations to help us move from our grief toward our self-reflection, toward action we might want to take. So I invite you, if you're available on Tuesday evening, that will be at 6:30. I invite as our meditation, as our prayer, that song, I dreamed of rain, and the rain came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. Sometimes that's the message we most need. I invite you to receive it in your heart in the way that best feeds you.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came.
Thank you. As Gail mentioned at the beginning of the service, all month long, we're invited to notice and to celebrate the blessings in our life, not as avoidance or as escape, but as a way of entering our lives more deeply, as a way of seeing our lives more clearly in their fullness. We wanted to begin this month by recognizing ourselves and each other as blessings and as blessed, as sources and receivers of goodness. We wanted to anchor that awareness in our bodies on this first Sunday, and so we will invite you into a ritual of blessing. We'll be inviting you to come forward in a few minutes, to cup your hands, to receive blessing, and to cup your hands as the giver of blessings that you are. And one of us will pour water gently over your hands and name that you are blessed, that you are a blessing. For those who want them, there's some little pieces of cloth that Martha Turner cut into these many pieces for me. Thank you. So you feel free to take one back to your seat with you to dry your hands if that's helpful to you. Or Gracie mentioned that the practice she just encountered or uses is to actually, both options. So we invite you to understand yourselves as a blessing and as blessed, no matter how much you might think of yourself or feel in a given moment that you're the ugly duckling or the awkward one or the somehow problematically imperfect one, or that piece of you that's not quite what you want or that's frustrating. We want to bless ourselves and each other, warts and all, in other words. Bless the real us. And several of us up front will take 4 stations. You can come up to any of those when we get to that place. We'll offer those words. Catherine and Taylor will be singing another song, Heke Hau. It's based on the words of a Hawaiian proverb. I am dew, cleansing, cleansing. It is aloha, or presence, or breath, or love. I am dew, water, cleansing, cleansing. It is aloha. If you're at home, I invite you, when that time comes, when that ritual begins, to find your own glass of water, your own bowl. If you're with someone else, to bless their hands with those words, you are blessed, you are a blessing. If you're by yourself, a hand at a time of your own hands, perhaps. We'll invite ourselves inward with the words of the Reverend Gretchen Haley, and then a blessing of the water by Gracie, and then we'll invite you forward for the blessing. We begin with the reading.
Bless today your hesitancy, your shy shrug, your behind-the-scenes skepticism, your sweet stoicism.
Bless your boredom and your anxieties, those worries that will not quiet no matter the mantras, the metas, or the meditating moments.
Bless your impatience, your butterflies, your brash tone, your desire to talk to no one or to care about nothing, to be invisible and invincible, to be already perfect and at ease, of course.
Bless your shame, your self doubt, your inner critic, and your coping techniques, all of them, whatever they may be.
Bless most of all your broken heart and all the longings that it made so, all the longings that made it so. Bless your grief, your anger, and your still pressing hope.
All of these we bless. All of ourselves we bless. In this gathering made holy by our wholeness, this community made sacred by our scars. Come to be blessed. Come to be a blessing.
And from the wisdom of Sufi poet Mahmud Shabistari, penetrate the heart of just one drop of water, and you will be flooded by 100 oceans. The indigenous people of Ecuador, from which I just returned, remind us of the importance and necessity to always thank the water in order to receive its abundance. And so a blessing and prayer by Dr. Masaru Emoto. The eternal power of the universe has gathered itself to create the world with true and grand harmony. We pray for healing blessings on the water. We pray for healing blessings on the sea. We pray for healing blessings on the rivers, that they may shine in crystal purity.
I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable to you. And to share this blessing yourself. So with your eyes closed, I invite you to send this to yourself as much as you need and outward as much as you're able. So it is, you are blessed, you are a blessing together. You are blessed, you are a blessing. I invite us to look toward the camera there. How about? Yeah, can we get the room's worth? To the folks who are on Zoom and the folks who are on Zoom, back to the people in the room. So that tall camera way in the back. Together, you are blessed. You are a blessing. If you can tolerate it, looking at another person. If you can tolerate it, looking at another person. Not everybody can, so it's okay. Another person or two. Catch the eye. You are blessed. You are a blessing. And one final one. I invite all of us at home and here in the room to send this blessing out as far as we possibly can. To those people who are in pain, struggling, think of themselves as ugly in any number of ways, who most need to know this, most need to hear this, together with all the heart that you have. You are blessed. You are a blessing. So may it always be.
Each week, we offer you a chance to show your caring in a tangible form of financial support for this very special religious community and for local nonprofit organizations that share our values. This month, we will share our plate with the Nevada County Veterinary Disaster Response Team, also known as Nevada County Animal Evacuation, a true blessing during times of wildfire and other disasters. They got their start during the 49er fire in 1988. I remember that well. We had people evacuated to our home. And they helped to evacuate animals to a safe place. The animals that are evacuated by them are housed, fed, and receive medical attention if needed. Since then, they have been mobilized for other fires and provided mutual aid when called upon for fires and floods in other counties. 25% of your gifts today, or more if you choose, will support their work. If you are physically present with us today and you want all of your gifts to go to them, there was a white envelope in the basket that you can put your money in. You can also give through UUCM's newly updated website at grassvalley.org, or by mailing checks to 246 South Church Street, Grass Valley, or by texting 579-0483. And you can pay through PayPal with paypal.me/UUCM. Your giving is vital to our ability to sustain the work of this community, and your gifts sustain us. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity, a true blessing which does not go unnoticed. We dedicate these gifts to the well-being of the animals that bless our lives in so very many ways.
I'm going to ask for your help with the many, many thank yous, and let's go geographically. Thank you to Catherine and Taylor for the music recording. Yeah. A gift, and for being willing to be ready for the park, but to come here. Linda Siska's beautiful setting this morning. Yeah. This is Linda right here. Gail Johnson Vaughan for being one of our worship associates with Gracie Kendrick, and with the support of Jenny Dewey this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Again, Martha, thank you for cutting our fabrics, which once Gracie introduced us to this, we didn't need so much of. That's good. Thank you very much for that. Our Andy Dooley Miller and Siobhan Boylan in the back helping us connect to Zoom. To Carmen for the reading, and George and Janet online for being willing to offer those readings via Zoom. Thank you very much. To our greeters this morning, Connie, Penny, Laura, was Gwen greeting too? Yes, thank you this morning. And then people who prepared for the park. Yes, thank you. Greeting matters. Greeting matters. A whole bunch of people who prepared for various things at the park. Gwen and Wally had things ready to take over for us. And our food crew, which Shannon Dooley Miller was helping organize with Beth Rose, and I bet they're busy. They're busy with food items. Who else do I need to thank this morning? Who have I? Bob Bateman is barbecuing burgers this morning as we speak. So as you see people doing things, please thank them for that rapid adjustment, all the preparation, and then the rapid adjustment back to here. So we will indeed have our picnic here in a few moments. For those who are here in the room, our potluck barbecue picnic will bring in the tables and set up. Thanks. Thanks. Our closing blessing includes our worship associates this morning. This amazing group of people that helps bring a service to life Sunday after Sunday after Sunday.
The flame we kindled in the chalice of faith holds blessings of warmth and light and life-giving energy.
It shines forth, a beacon to guide us all home, a beacon we can take with us.
It lights up our longing to connect and to share. It possesses the power to shape the world where equity and compassion reign supreme.
May this warmth and light, this life-giving energy, celebrate the blessings we have claimed and help us extend them in hands and hearts that offer these blessings to all. So may it be. And a thank you to you for your flexibility this morning. Our closing song is This Little Light of Mine. We haven't sung it for a while. We add some new verses, so listen for the next verse, but I invite you again to sing it with that blessing in you that's available, that acknowledges that you are blessed and also that you are a blessing that extends outward. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, even if you're at home, and to sing.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The blessings in my life, the blessings in my life.
I'm gonna let it shine.
The blessings in my life,
I'm gonna let
them
it shine.
The blessings in my life,
I'm gonna let them shine, let them shine, let them shine, let them shine.
the strength that's in my hands, the strength that's in my hands.
I'm gonna let it shine. The strength that's in my hand, I'm gonna let it shine. The strength that's in my hand, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The love that's in my heart, the love that's in my heart.
I'm gonna let it shine.
The love that's
in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. The love that's in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The peace that's in my soul, the peace that's in my soul.
I'm gonna let it shine.
The
Peace that's in my soul, I'm gonna let it shine. Peace that's in my soul, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
But let's remind ourselves, for those, because some of us will stay and some of us will go on our way for the day and some of us are at home, that we remain connected even as we extinguish this particular light of our chalice and even as we go our own ways for a time being. Together, let us carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. So let's wave goodbye to everyone online, and we'll see you soon.